Okay, so we are live. Okay, so hey everyone, welcome to webinar series by Talent Battle. We are a one-stop platform for the students to prepare for the job opportunities. We provide aptitude, technical, and interview preparation services to students across India. Till now, we have organized various technical and aptitude related webinars through our Talent Battle platform. But along with the knowledge, one important thing which drives you to achieve success is getting a proper mentorship. So, considering that, we have launched a webinar series where the experts from the industry will share their experience and guide our students. I'm really glad to share with you that today we have Mr. Mahendra Kane, who is currently working as Senior Manager for Business Development at Siemens. He's having a total of 16 plus years of experience in industrial automation. We are sure his experience and guidance will surely help our students. So again, I would like to thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time. And let us start with the session.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can share your screen. Okay, so I will just stop my video and then you can continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
thank you, Ajinkya, and the Talent Battle team. I hope you can hear me well, and my screen is also visible.
Yes, everything
Yeah.
is correct. Yeah.
So let's start. I think Ajinkya, you did a very good intro and emphasize on the point that a lot of different things are also important in career as well as life. Which you can learn over only using some experience. So I am here today to talk about such experiences which I got and such what learnings I got and what are the top 10 things which are really important for a good career and life. So why life? Because we are just not doing only career. We are not only working. We are also living a life. And while living a life, the same things which we are doing right at career, same things are also required at life. So that's why I thought of clubbing both these points together, and we can have this session. So let's go forward. To all, my name is Mahendra Kane, and I have an experience of 16 plus years. I currently work at Siemens, so it's a multinational company, and in a lot of things in industrial automation. It is also in right from power generation, transmission, distribution, industrial automation, healthcare. So it has a very wide gamut of applications and products which it can serve. So I'm really lucky to be with this company for a long time. Uh, Presently, I am working as a business development guy and working with customers, and I meet a lot of customers. I meet a lot of vendors, suppliers. So that also enriches my experience as a person, and as well as it helps my organization. As far as passions are concerned, I really like reading. So I think the fifth webinar on this in this series will be on reading. So what kind of readings I do, what kind of readings you should do, and how you can get benefited out of it. That we will also discuss in subsequent webinars. My recently found passion is basically helping others to grow. So far I was kind of selfish. I was learning everything on my own and that not really spreading my knowledge. So using such platforms like Talent Battle, I'm really exploring now how I can help others grow. So before we really start with the topic, a small token of gratitude. Basically, I am not a professional trainer or a teacher, certified teacher, but what I am really doing is just sharing my thoughts using a lot of images, stuffs, anecdotes, quotes from net, so that you will see a lot in these presentations. And I have really try to make it a little bit light, more on fun side, and I will share a lot of info also using this, right? So my only request to all of you is basically when you learn something, don't hesitate to pass it forward. So I call it pay it forward. So you have learned something, somebody has taken a lot of pains to teach you few things, and now it is your chance to teach others or pass on your knowledge. So never hesitate in doing that. So let's start. The first habit or the first thing which is really important in life is being on time every time. So not just once, but always you should try that. Now, what I'm really talking about here is the punctuality part, right? So one is doing or committing yourself to certain task and then doing it properly. Just take an example of today. The this webinar is starting at 11:30, and if I show up at 11:35, so will you have that same respect when otherwise when I would have started at around 11:25, right? So if I am not punctual, I have no right to tell others that be punctual. So punctuality is really not about being time, but it is also giving about respecting your own commitments and the commitments you give to others. Correct. So how do we do that? So it only comes via discipline. And in Indian context, Indian scenario, we say that late Latif, it is my time which I will decide. Typically, whenever meetings are called, we are always 15-20 minutes late, because we know that everyone is going to come late. So this habit, if we start changing from our own self, then that will really help to be more disciplined, more punctual. So what is really discipline? Discipline is nothing but if you really don't want to do something, but you have to do it because you know it is right for you. Take an example of exercise, right? You have to wake up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock and then go for a jog. You know that it is really important for my health, but just because I am lazy, I don't want to wake up at 6, I am not doing it. So discipline is really not that hard, but then it is a more willingness of your own mind, right? So if we are disciplined, then punctuality comes. It's a side effect of being disciplined, right? So try to be more disciplined, and that will really help you to achieve more success in life. We have all smartphones everywhere. Even the college guys are using. Even my now 11, 12 years old guy kid is also using smartphones. So smartphones has a lot of benefits, a lot of disadvantages, but try to use benefits. So one of the major benefit is calendar in smartphone. So that really helps you to schedule everything on time, right? Many times we hear that I don't have time to do something, some XYZ thing. But I heard a very nice sentence from Stephen Covey, the renowned author, that you don't find time, you schedule it. So you decide what is really important for you, and you schedule that time, and then work around all the other activities around that time. Right? Whenever you are talking about any meetings, try to be at least 15-20 minutes before. Whenever you are having a face-to-face meeting, typically these campus interviews or something, some places where you are you are not familiar with those places, so it always helps to be earlier 15-20 minutes. That the person who is really going to take your interview will also be very happy. So that is, anyways, if you are showing up on time, that is your first battle is won. Another thing is this nowadays in post-COVID era, we are all talking about virtual meetings. So virtual meetings have their own challenges like internet connectivity, laptop shutdown, laptop reboot, etc. So if we are ready before 3 to 5 minutes, then the person who is presenting will also be more confident, and he will also be very happy that people are there who are respecting his own time. In case you are not able to come on time, then please inform them well in advance. Like I should not inform Ajinkya that I can't make 11:30 a.m. meeting at 11:25. That will not make sense. If he has to do something, he has to do some work around, then he has to at least be informed half an hour, 1 hour before. So please inform the people in case you are not able to meet, in case you are not able, in case you are running late, maybe because of traffic and other things. Then that will really help them to reschedule their activities. So this is on being punctual, right? So when we are punctual, when we are disciplined, we also should take a lot of initiatives to start our own getting involved in new tasks. So I have found this very interesting way of setting goals. It's smart goals. So S, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Okay, it's very easy to remember. SMART. So this has really made a lot of difference in my life when I started setting my goals and then really achieving it. So obviously the first step is to identify what you really want to do. See, for example, you want to study for the the last year exam. If you start thinking that I will begin the studies only in last month, in the prep time, then it's not a smart goal. You know when you want to do. If I start early, if I start maybe 6 months back when my new semester starts, and then I really spend one hour every day doing something in the curriculum, then definitely when the last exam time comes, then you are more confident in doing that. I will give example of myself. I decided to do this series 2 weeks back with Ajinkya, and we could not do this first part last week due to some reasons. But my presentation was ready on last Friday, right? So I had a 1 week before between the date we decided and our discussion. So I spent 1 hour daily to do this, and then I could do this presentation, complete this presentation just in 4 or 5 days, because I could spend time specifically. I was very specific what I wanted to do in this presentation. Then I spent a measurable time, like 1 hour. I set achievable goals. So I thought maybe let's do 2 or 3 habits every day, so that in span of 3-4 days I will complete this presentation. This can also be a realistic goal. So what really you want to show in the PPTs, and then obviously time bound. So that really makes a difference. So coming back to smart goals, define what you really want to achieve. It should be tangible. See, having a goal like I want to go to moon is good enough, no problem. But then I want to go to moon in next year is not a realistic goal. Maybe you have to go, if you have to enroll for NASA, or you have to enroll for let's say ISRO, and then you have to first study your complete your study first, then take these different courses, enroll in these big organizations, and then you can really realize your goals. So maybe I want to go to moon can be a realistic goal for 10 years if you are really into that field, right? I want to go to moon in next year may not be a very realistic goal for you today, for a college student today. So you really decide what is the a realistic goal which you want. Analyze where you are today. So let's say you want to go to moon and you are studying in last year in college. So you should know what steps are required where you are today and what really is required to reach to that goal, and then start setting smart goals. So these smart goals will specifically talk about which institution you want to go further, what kind of knowledge you want to gain, what kind of certification you want to go to ISRO or NASA or whatever, right? So these smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound, this will definitely help you in long run. Similarly, let's say you want to lose weight, right? So many of us guys are fat these days. McDonald's and pizza, burger, everything we eat, we hardly exercise, we hardly play because we are so stuck in smartphones. So let's say my smart goal is reducing 10 kilo weight in 1 year. So that sounds quite feasible, right? I should not be bogged down by the goal when I see it. So maybe 1 kilo a month can be a good enough way to reduce my weight. So this is a specific goal, then measurable goal that I want to reduce 10 kilos in 1 year. I feel I'm quite confident that it is achievable if I take some actions. It is also realistic. I don't want to lose suddenly 35, 40 kilos weight in 1 year, right? And it also talks about time. So these are the ways you decide smart goals. So you can use this tool very effectively in various ways of in various areas of your life. Important again is prioritize your goals. So if you are if you want to lose your weight, then start training, start jogging in morning, start taking some weights and other things. So you decide how to prioritize your goals, create detailed action plan to achieve it, right? And the most important part here is implement it right away. See, many times we set very beautiful goals and then we don't do anything at all, right? I know I say every day I want to study for last year exam, but I really don't start doing that, right? So implementation is the key in this. Another thing which I really found important is do something extra every day to reach near to your goals. See, for example, I start with Surya Namaskar, that is sun salutation, to reduce my weight. And on day one, I start 6 Surya Namaskar to start with. Then maybe for 1 week, I continue to do 6 Surya Namaskars. Then my body is now enough flexible, so I can start with 12 Surya Namaskars. Then maybe I can increase that to 18. So if I do that, start increasing my goals or mini goals every day, then whatever I wanted to achieve 1 year later, I might achieve in 6 months also, 8 months also, right? So such things, if you do small things extra every day, if I'm using dumbbells to get some nice muscles, if I'm doing 50 times, maybe tomorrow I will do 60 times, just a little bit increment, and that will really help you achieve your goals faster, right? So this is about setting goals. Also, another important thing is you can learn from others, yeah, right? You are not the first one who wants to go to moon. You are not the first one who wants to reduce the weight. So go through net, go through YouTube. There are a lot of channels, a lot of stuff on Google. Read that and achieve and implement what is really realistic for you, right? Another way I have seen is if you visualize and affirm your goals every day. So if you can imagine yourself that you are 10 kilos less, right? You have become more flexible, you have become more slim. So if you start visualizing that at least 5 times 5 minutes a day, then just close your eyes and visualize and affirm that yes, my weight is now, it was 70 and now it is 60, something like that. So it really helps you to reach those goals because your mind is also now working along with your body, right? Now when we talk about goal setting, when we talk about being disciplined, punctual, what really matters is the patience, persistence, and perspiration, right? So many authors they have these ideas of writing books, but then they think that unless I have an idea, I really can't start writing. But Einstein has a very nice sentence that the success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So perspiration is the hard work which you are putting into the work. So there is absolutely no excuse for hard work, right? But what we really can do is we can do also smart work. So let's talk about that. So when people see your success, they always see the tip of the iceberg, right? You all know the theory of iceberg. So 1/8 part is always visible, but there is a 7/8 part which is submerged in the water, which no one can see. So people are always seeing what is really shown right now, right? Like for example, you are seeing the way I am presenting, but you really don't know what efforts I took to make this presentation, what efforts I have taken over the past 16, 17 years to learn all these things, right? So obviously I had to do a lot of hard work, dedication. Then I had to imbibe good habits. I was very really lazy earlier, but then I thought, let's now be more disciplined. It is not that difficult, etc. Right? I had lots of disappointment. So disappointment is way of life. You have to learn only from your mistakes. You have to learn only from your failures. There is no other option. Another thing which is very important in life is sacrifice, right? You have to sacrifice your time. You have to sacrifice some money, for example, to be more successful. Correct. So persistence, patience is really important in life for success. Now I mentioned about working hard, but I also talk about working smart. So what is really smart work? See, in the course of time, you learn a lot of things through your hard work, and then you start realizing that a few tasks can also be automated or can be given to other guys. Let's say you are not a boss of a lot of people, you are not a leader. Then maybe you are working on your own. Then you think of what kind of things you can automate. For example, you want to do certain calculation as a part of your job, right? So if you keep that calculation ready every time, then you have to simply use that template and start using it in your work. So that is, I call it automating. So what it is doing basically, it is freeing you more time for doing new challenges, for doing new things. So that I called smart work. So smart work is really automating few things, and then if you are in a position to give the some task to others, then learn to delegate also. We'll also discuss about that in future webinars. So what really patience and persistence tells us is there is always a way to work around. So don't quit, right? Do it instead of that. Another thing which I learned very hard way is thinking win-win. So it sounds very interesting. So see, we are all doing business or we are all a part of some organization. So where we are always encountering people, right? The real human beings. We are not talking about a robot talking to a man, right? Not machine learning. We are talking about physical human talking to physical human. So when there are two humans, they are always the basic thing which really impacts is the emotion of that human, right? All sales decisions are seldomly made on the qualities of the product. They are always made on emotions behind selling that product, emotion behind creating the need of that product, right? So if I am a salesperson and I'm selling something to other, and I have a bad intention of selling it, just I want to complete my target, so I'm just chipcowing something to him. Just I want him to take something whether he needs or not. That's not a win-win thing. If he really wants something and he is getting benefited, at the same time I am also getting benefited, I am not losing anything in terms of profit, in terms of features, then that's called win-win. So win-win is always when both parties are winning, right? So what I learned is don't really win at others loss. This success is always short lived. You might able to you might be successful in selling something to others, but then if he really doesn't want it, then next time maybe the doors are closed to you always. He will never entertain you again for any new requirements, right? So the key is basically to build better relationship. Many times I have seen that the product which the other guy doesn't want, but just because I have a good relationship, he can also do that, right? He buys and then he finds ways to use that product in other companies, in other applications, right? See, you might have heard about a term called rat race. So rat race is that you everything you want to win at any cost, right? I want to get this business, I want to win this race, etc. So that is typical a rat race where everyone is running and everyone is trying to win lose. So everyone want other guy to lose and they only want to win. So that's really not good for yourself as well as your career. No, so this nice quote I found from that the trouble with rat race is even if you win, you are still a rat, right? So you have to come out of rat race and you have to start expanding your vision, and you have to also start winning others, right? When the other guy wins, then only he will able to win you, right? He will let you win in this. So winning, thinking win-win is extremely important in any transactions, any area of life, right? The most important part I have always felt that treating others with respect. You have to give a lot of respect. right? It should be genuine. It should not be fake, right? So the fake respect, at start it might look good, but then giving respect is always by multiple ways. So one is body language, one is the way you speak, right, and one is the actual word. So there are three things when you're talking: a body language, the way you speak, and the actual words which you are speaking. So if you are giving a fake respect to someone but just by words, but then the tone of your speech, the way your body language is, if it is not right, then that fakeness immediately comes out, and it really doesn't last long. People always try to run away from such guys which are showing really fake respects, right? So really, I call it empathy. So you really imagine yourself in the other shoe, and then you try to think how that other person is thinking, and then you talk to him. That really builds up the relationship very fast, right? So how do you do that? Basically, never gossip in front of the person, or and behind that person. That always reaches them. It's not a good practice to do gossiping, right? And when we are really treating people uh, what they should be, right, then only they start understanding their own importance, and this is how you build relationship. So my sincere request: don't give fake respect. Don't give respect just for the sake of giving respect. Respect that other guy very genuinely. If you are helping, help unconditionally, that will really improve the relationship between the two people. Again, as I said, these things we are always talking about humans talking to humans. We are not talking about robots and artificial intelligence talking to artificial intelligence. So when we are treating with humans, the biggest problem or biggest thing which human has is the emotion. And if you are able to struck the right chord, then that person is always yours. Always take 100% of ownership of your mistakes, right? So there are times in your life when you have a lot of problems, and then the point comes when you have to take ownership of the mistakes. At that time, if you start running away from taking ownership, you just start to pass the buck. I was doing like this, but there was some issue, other thing. Despite that, you are the complete 100% ownership of that project, and still you want to, if still you start to pass the buck, then it really creates a bad impression on the other guy, right? So you have to be accountable for what you're doing. If you're done wrong, that's okay. That's really a human thing to make mistakes, and corporates do understand that people make mistakes, right? So when we make mistakes, then only we start learning from it. Remember the first day when you were driving a cycle, right, bicycle. That time you fall down many times, but then you again got up, and you again took the cycle, and you again started. If in your first attempt only, if you had stopped, then you would never have been able to drive a bicycle, right? So making mistakes is absolutely genuine, absolutely normal. Unless you're making any mistake intentionally, these mistakes are always forgiven and forgotten in long term. Okay. So what is really important is learn from them and don't repeat those mistakes, right? So an organization is absolutely okay if you make a mistake one time, two times, but if you start making the same mistake, then you are not really doing your job properly. You have to learn from the mistakes. So most people would learn from their mistakes if they are not very busy in denying them. So what the general tendency of a human being is, they deny the mistake. No, I didn't do this. That time was not favorable. Somebody else did this job. It is not really my responsibility, etc., etc. So instead of that, if we come together as a team, discuss the mistake, and then really come out of it, that will really help you. Another thing is, we should really stop comparing and complaining about things. So first, let me talk about comparison. So many times we see that my colleague is now getting better promotion. My colleague is learning more things. My colleague is really getting a lot of more opportunities or more responsibilities as compared to me. And then what is really happening is, you start being jealous. You start complaining about things. You think that the boss is always partial. you know ये तो एकदम hopeless है, etc. So but at the same time, you are also not doing anything on your own to improve yourself, right? If you're not taking any efforts to make yourself better as a human being and as well as a good worker, and then when you are jealous with others, that others are climbing ladders of the success, then you really have no right to complain about yourself, right? So stop comparing and really start judging, and really start realizing, analyzing what is really going wrong with me. Okay. So we have heard this term, the grass is greener on other side, right? But what I really feel is, grass is really not greener on other side, but it is greener where you are watering it. If you step back, if you really analyze what you are today and where you want to go today, and you take conscious actions, conscious steps to go through that, to your achievement plan, you set smart goals and really achieve it, really make an effort to do that, then that really helps you to gain a lot of advantage. And then the grass at your end is also green, right? Then people will start looking at you and comparing. I mean, they have the tendency to compare that. Now see, this guy is really has really changed and he is now really doing well, right? So stop comparing with others. It is instead you start getting inspired by others and to do your best. So that is really important. If you start doing your best, it can't be hidden, right? If you are in love, it shows on your face. Similarly, if you are doing good work, it shows. You really don't have to do anything, right? I remember one ad from, I think, HPCL petrol pump, that if you have the power, it shows. Similarly, if you have if you have done good work, it really shows. It is not hidden so long, right? Start believing in yourself. There is nothing called as luck and all, right? It is all about hard work. And if you grab the opportunity, it is about the willingness to grab the opportunities and work towards it. And then that only happens when you start believing in yourself. Don't really jump ships too often recklessly, right? Many times people think that I am not good in engineering, so maybe I should go to commerce, for example. Or other things in job. Let's say I want, I don't want sales, but now I want to go to engineering, I want to go to business development, etc., etc. So that is called jumping ships recklessly. So if you are jumping ships, every 6 months, every 1 year, then first of all, the management will not let you do that. They will start having a doubt on your abilities. If you always approach your boss that no, I'm not happy with this job and I want to go to somewhere else, right? See, in life, you cannot decide your parents and you cannot decide your boss. They are always implied, right? So if you are having problem with your boss and you go to his boss and start complaining, then no, maybe he will change your department to somewhere else. But what if you encounter another bad boss? Instead of that, if you start building a good relationship with with your present boss, start showing him your ability, start showing him the way you are contributing to success of your life, success of your company, right? Then things can really change. It has happened with me time and again that whenever I had good relationship with my bosses, the things really started changing, right? See, I'm not giving you some gyan or something. It is just a simple explanation of what really came to my came in my experience. And these experiences really teach us a lot of things, right? I had almost 7 8 bosses in last 16 years. So I was lucky to have different departments, not because of jumping ships, but because the management thought that I could do something more. So I had almost 6 7 8 different roles in last 16 years to do. And different, obviously different bosses, and with everyone I have very good relation. And just because of that, I had a very successful life so far and successful career so far. The key is basically to spend more time nurturing yourself to be the best. If you start doing self awareness, if you start being self motivated, then a lot of things will start falling in right place. So stop complaining and really start doing something which will help you in realizing your goals, right? So many times, I have also seen that the other department looks very nice, or the other company is very, very nice, right? Sometimes the grass is really greener on the other side, because it might be fake also, correct? They are just showing you good things and they really don't want to show you bad things. But when you go there, you again think that, oh no, my previous department was much better, right? So unless you start taking efforts on changing yourself instead of complaining and comparing, then only the things will improve on your end. So really don't look far. First look at yourself, look inside you, see what you really can change, what you really can contribute to company, and then be capable enough. Then the company itself will start promoting you to different places. That is what I'm trying to say. For this, what you really want to do is sharpen your axe, right? There is a very nice book by Stephen Covey called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. So that the last habit is sharpen your saw or sharpen your axe. So what it really means is, if you are doing something, you should first have all the skills of doing that, right? So for example, if my work involves working in Microsoft Office every day, let's say I want to make a lot of presentations, I have to do a lot of costings in Excel file, I want to do a lot of documentation in Microsoft Word, then I should first learn how the Word works, how Excel works, how PowerPoint works. If I really don't know, and if I simply jump into the job, I will keep on making a lot of mistakes. I will keep on wasting my time as well as company's time, and then that will really hamper the productivity of my role, right? So the first thing is you have to sharpen your saw, or you have to sharpen your axe regularly. So it's a very nice quote I found on net from Abraham Lincoln, that give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and then I will spend the first hour sharpening the axe, right? So in that same book, Stephen Covey talks about this anecdote, that there are two guys who are cutting the wood in the jungle, and one guy is consistently doing good, and the other guy is consistently doing bad, and the other guy is comparing and complaining, winning, that the luck is not good. I'm really, I'm working so hard. I am also working 8 hours a day and cutting the trees, but still I am able to cut only less trees as compared to that other guy. So one day, he had some kind of vision, and then he thought, he introspected. He had a self motivation to discuss what really is differently that other guy is doing. He went to that guy and he asked him, "What are you really doing? Why are you not cutting the trees so often than I am doing?" So what he told is, whenever I am cutting trees, my axe is losing its sharpness. So I am stopping. Let's say in 1 hour, I am spending 15 minutes to sharpen my saw, sharpen my axe. That time I am also getting, I'm not getting, because of 45 minutes I'm cutting the woods, I'm getting tired. So those 15 minutes are giving me some rest, and I am sharpening my saw at the same time. So for next 45 minutes, I can do the job which you are able to do in 1.5 hours, right? So if you are not sharpening your saw regularly, if you're not learning new things, if you're not really sharpening or polishing your own skills, then they will not help you in long run, right? So take out some time every day, say maybe half an hour, 1 hour, to reflect on what you have learned so far, what you want to do, what you want to learn something new. For example, you learn C today and you want to learn C++, and your job demands also, maybe Java and etc. Start putting some effort from your end to learn Java every 1 hour, every day in 1 hour, right? So that will really help you to, whenever you are ready, whenever your boss thinks that you are ready to start working on Java, then you are also ready at your end, right? So sharpen your saw. So unless you are trying to do something really different than what you are really doing right now, you will always be there. You will never grow. Correct? So growth is always stopping the moment you are content with your present knowledge. So I have learned everything now. I mera engineering ho gaya, right? My commerce is complete. I am now CA, whatever. But then if I am not practicing what I really learned in those curriculum, I am not really reaching out to people or reaching out to different mediums to learn something new in this, then what will happen? See, nowadays, Industry 4.0, you might have heard a lot about this IoT, Internet of Things, or IIoT, etc. Now, as a student, if you are not showing interest in that, then how you can grow yourself better? See, I estimate that in another 5 to 6 years, this IoT will boom like anything, right? So already it is showing a lot of things, and especially in this post-COVID era, people know that they have to rely more on machines and automated things. So their IoT based things will really improve a lot, and the requirement will also increase a lot. So if you are not spending time today as a professional on IoT, what is IoT, what different protocols are supported in IoT, right? How I can realize this IoT, how I can do a machine with Industry 4.0, all these things, then you are you are behind the race, right? I'm not about rat race, but you are behind your regular race also. So if you take out some time and learn all these things, then it will really help you more successful, becoming more successful. See, if you are really not doing things differently, you are always stuck at the same place, right? So start doing something new, start setting incremental goals, which I said earlier, that if you start increasing your number of efforts which you're doing, a number of times which you're doing few things, then really your the way you are doing things will improve. Your axe will also get sharpened, right? One of the best way to learn is ask questions. So I call it 5W plus H. So what, why, when, where, how, right? So if you start asking these questions, then you really think of your vision will start expanding. You will start doing the out of box thinking. Correct? How to do this? To read books, articles, Wikipedia, Google, see good movies, motivational movies. Meditation is also one of the ways to sharpen your mind axe, right? So far we talked about physical things. but meditation is one of the biggest tools to sharpen your mental acts, right? So for example, it will sharpen your focus, it will improve your body by mind body connect, etc. So that will really help you in long term. Exercise obviously is one of the best ways to be fit in life, right? So you guys are typically at age of around 2021, right? Whatever bad things you do in 20 to 30 years really don't matter, right? But then once you start crossing that age of 35, 36, then your body will start complaining. So if you are doing exercise from day one, from the age of 20, even in childhood, then your body will always be receptive to new changes, right? So if you are eating only pizza burger and not doing anything, any exercise, sitting in front of laptop for 12, 14 hours, then you are really doing a lot of bad things to your body, which you really don't realize till the age of 30, 32. But as the age starts slipping, then there is no coming back. You don't have a time machine, and you come to age of 20 and finish it, right? So the key is basically to start early, to learn, to practice regularly. So that regularly is really important, and it again brings us back to discipline, right? So my sincere request to all of you: sharpen your axe regularly. It will really help you in long term. Another thing which I've learned is be a leader without title, right? So many, I also had this thinking earlier in my early career that if I become boss, then only I will start doing a boss kind of role, right? Or a leader kind of role. So what is really a leader? Basically, he's showing others some direction, right? He's helping others, not really spoon feeding, but then he's showing the way, right? So if you're helping others without any expectations in return, you're, I call it unconditional helping others. If you're empowering others to do their best, then you have become automatically a leader without any title. You really don't have to be a senior manager, a chief manager or whatever to become a leader. Even if you are a simple executive engineer and you are a role model to others, when people look at it, look at you, and then they feel inspired by you, then that is really a start of you becoming a leader, right? So be the kind of leader which people would automatically follow, right? Even if you had no title or position. You should guide, mentor others. For that, you should first know the topic, right? There is no point in guiding others if you don't yourself don't know the topic. So for that, the 8 habits which I talked about earlier: be disciplined, learn a lot of new things, read a lot of books. I am able to give this webinar today because I have read a lot of things. I read at least 20 to 24 books a year, at least. Obviously more, but at least I try to read 20 to 24 books every year. So unless I do that, I really don't know about all these things, right? Unless I know these things, I can't tell you all these things. So if you want to become a guide, if you want to become a mentor, then you should first be capable of doing it, right? So leaders are really becoming great not because of their power, but because of the ability to empower others. I have some colleagues with me who were my reportees earlier, but now because of restructuring, they are not with me. But I still take some time out from my schedule, and then we discuss their problems. And I try to help them unconditionally, because I can always give an excuse that this is this is not my department, right? But then I help them. I try to give them some ideas. They also like those ideas. They keep on coming to me. I keep on telling them. In this way, I also learn a lot of things which I wouldn't have been able to learn if I wouldn't have helped them at all, right? So when you are teaching someone, when I started creating this PPT presentation, then I also learned a lot of things. I also reaffirmed a lot of good things which I did in my life, and I could really realize that I did really good stuff, and I should do these things more, XYZ things. So that is also learning for me from these presentations, right? The last and best part is relationship building and network building, so which is absolutely important. I think I have spent a lot of time already on how to build relationship and networks. I'll just summarize those. So what I have seen is, I am first in my university, right? I have a gold medal, I know a lot of things. But if I'm not properly talking to my customers, talking to my bosses, talking to my peers, talking to my vendors, then that knowledge has absolutely no meaning at all, right? So people really don't care how much you know, but they care how much you care, right? They can only understand how much you care about the other guys. See, I deal with a lot of customers day in day out. correct? And I obviously know a lot of more things about my product, Siemens product, than those customers, right? At the same time, they also know a lot of more things about their products as compared to me. So if we have proper respect with each other, I am teaching them or I am empowering them to use my products more. I am giving them knowledge on what I know very, very respectfully, and they are telling me few things which will help me indirectly to excel in my career, right? If I know their machine better, I can sell my products better, right? It's a side benefit of building a relationship, correct? Because the other guy is also willing to contribute in any conversation, any meaningful conversation. So if your relationship is good, the sales flow automatically, right? You really don't have to do a lot of work. So irrespective of your job function, start building healthy relationship with all type of people around you. So I call it internal customers, like your bosses, your colleagues, or people from your other departments. They are also indirectly your customers, right? Everybody on planet Earth is a salesperson by default. Right from the day you are born, you cry because you are now attracting your mother's attention to yourself, right? So you are doing kind of a selling. You are trying to attract the attention. So everyone is a salesperson, whether they like it or not, right? So always remember that, I am just because I am in a technical function, I should not talk to customers on sales part. See, obviously don't talk in terms of pricing part and other things, but at least you build a relationship, empower him on your products, right? Learn about his products, right? That will really help you as well as the customer to grow together. So how it can come? It can only come when you are respectful, when you are helping others unconditionally, and you always remember that you are also many times in soup. You also are in many times lot of danger, right? Danger as in you also have bad times and good times. So if you are not helping others in their bad times, then who will help you in your bad time, right? So it is never like that you always have good time and everyone else is having bad time. I have realized in my life that I have bad times almost 70% of times. But that 30% time when I am having a good time, if I am not helping others, then when will they help me when I am in bad time? Right? So help others unconditionally. It whatever you give, you will always get tenfold in direct or indirect way. And as I said, if you are learning something out of the customer's products, then the same type of machines others are also building. Correct? In my area of work, a lot of people make similar machines. So if I'm learning something from one type of machine, I can always use that idea to develop it into some other kind of machine. So that's an indirect opportunity for me to increase my business, right? So my primary objective, obviously, as a salesperson or as a business development person, is to sell something, but that is not my only objective. I'm always talking in terms of win-win relationships, right? So whenever you're building relationships, build not only on the need but also on the give relationship, right? So you should always think of win-win in this scenario, right? So far we discussed a lot about these 10 things which I feel are important. So few key learnings also apart from this from my life is a lot of fun, right? So take out time regularly for yourself. If you are not giving time for yourself, then who will give time for you, right? So you have to be more introspective, you have to be more funny, you have to learn to enjoy life no matter what the problems is. And trust me, there are going to be problems. There is absolutely no alternative or no way to avoid any problem. In fact, the smaller no, the younger you are, like I am at age of 38 today. I have learned a lot using my problems, right? And I am grateful to God that he has shown me a lot of he has put me in a lot of problems in my early career, so that I am now quite comfortable in my career because I have already faced those problems. So whenever you are encountering any problem, don't shy away, don't run away from those problems. Learn from those problems, right? Another thing is balance is the key to success in all areas of life. You've seen that movie called Dar, right? This Shah Rukh Khan movie, Kakaka Kiran. What he is doing, he's basically obsessed with Juhi Chawla, right? So if you are obsessed in doing something, then it will always end up in ruining the problem. So if you are loving someone, be balanced, right? The other guy or other girl also has the right to love you back or don't love you back. Don't lose your way into that. whenever you're working for a project, yes, you should give your 100%, but then you are also have a house, you also have a family. At the end, you also have parents to whom you have to go back at the end of the day, right? So if you are having a proper work life balance, you have a proper balance in the way you do things, people will automatically start following you, right? If you have balance in life, it shows on your face, right? So be balanced in everything you do. Anything excess in life is always a poison. So try to know where you want to stop for doing few things. Build genuine relationship. That has really helped me a lot in long term. Self awareness and self motivation work really fantastically, right? You know that the carrot and stick scenario, right? The company will give you carrot, they promise you something monetary, or they give you danda, right? If you don't do this thing, you will be kicked out. But if you are aware about yourself, if you are motivated, self motivated, then you really don't require a carrot and a stick. Automatically that carrot will come to you, right? So be aware, be motivated. If you want to do that work, you really give your 100%, and that can only come if you are convinced, right? So a strong willingness to do something will always find its way. I want, I am on fire, I want to reduce my weight by 10 kg in 1 year. So if I am committed to that, I have discipline, I have motivation, self motivation, then only I can do it. Otherwise I can't do it. And unless I have conviction, I will not have motivation. Unless I have motivation, I can't have discipline. So these all things are interrelated with each other, right? And the last part is basically, there are lots of opportunities God is giving you, life is giving you to learn, and you can correct your past mistakes. But the only catch here is, if you choose to. If you had fallen down, when you are learning cycle, and you decided that I will not again drive a bicycle, then till today you would not have been able to do anything with your bicycle, right? So there are multiple ways to correct things in life. There are a lot of opportunities everyone is giving, but then you have to decide on your own to take that challenge and complete it, right? So the most important part here is, you have to be the change you wish to see others in the world, right? So I give you a very nice story which I read somewhere, that there was a king, and he was very very ill. And one quack guy, right, a Bhondu guy, came to his darbar, and he told Raja, if you can start seeing everything in red, then your illness will go very fast. So Raja was very happy. King was extremely happy. He ordered all guys that everything should be red. So everyone started painting their faces red. All started wearing red suits. The hair were also red. Everything was red, right? All furniture was red. So that complete city was red. So everyone got frustrated, right? Just because of whims and fancies of Raja, how can others change the way of life? So one day a sadhu was passing by this village, the kingdom, and he heard people complaining about this. And because he was Raja, people were not able to do anything against that person, right? So the Sadhu Baba came to his darbar kingdom, and then he told Raja, "What is your problem?" So he said, "Sadhuji, the day I have started seeing red, now my life has really improved. Everything is fine. But what about other people?" So Raja was also started thinking, and he was not. He had lost words. Then what Sadhu did? He gave him a red goggle and told him to wear it. So the moment he put that goggle on his head, right, on his eyes, then everything was red only for Raja, right? So we are those Raja, we are those kings who wants other to change. They don't want to change anything on their own. So if you are able to change yourself, then only you can expect the others can change, right? If you are a role model for others, then only the others can change. If you only keep on complaining and comparing others, then nothing is going to change. So that's it from my side. My sincere request to all of you is, always make changes in your life when there is still a chance. There is no point in reflecting back, I should have done that, I should have done this, right? So thanks you once again. Ajinkya, over to you.
Yes. Can you just stop the share screen part?
Yeah, I think let this thing be there. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
if
Just let
someone
me
has
take it.
doubts,
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you for this amazing motivational session. Thank you for sharing the different learnings which you have learned throughout your experience.
Mhm.
And to summarize that, definitely I would like to tell that our students need to consider their problems as an adventure also. Okay.
Mhm.
Definitely the current time which they are facing right now is
Exactly.
challenging due to Corona. There are less job opportunities also. But
Yes.
rather than crying and giving continuous excuses, they need to work on the skills. The next 3 months are going to be the most important months of your life that you need to understand. Whatever you do, that is going to have impact on your life. So
Correct.
that is what our student needs to understand.
Mhm.
Already we have received really good feedback in the
Great.
comment section also. So thank
Mhm.
you for that. We'll be having our next session next week. In case if you
Yeah.
are, I would like to tell my students that if you are having any suggestions about any particular topic, technical is definitely there. But apart from that, the important things which we need to discuss, if you're having any suggestion, you can tell us on our platform. We'll be happy to conduct that as well. Okay. I'll be sharing the link of YouTube channel of sirs also. Okay, so you can go through his channel also and you can follow him there for the next session. The next 4 sessions will be on our platform only, but apart from that, he conducts various like meetings and he shares a lot of knowledge on that channel also. Okay. So again, I would like to thank you, sir, and I would like to thank all the students for giving the positive feedback about such session. This was the first time we conducted such session, and I'm happy that our students are happy with this kind of session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure is mine. Thanks a lot for listening to my thoughts. And do give a lot of suggestions to do
Sure.
more sessions. I will really help to do these sessions even better. Yes. Thank
Yes.
you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Just a sec. I will end.
Shall I leave the meeting now?
Yes. You can do that.